Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Pisces February 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant anyway, people. First thing up is, as far as February goes, the Sun will be in Aquarius from the 1st until the 18th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on one's limitations, restrictions, less people that are less fortunate, such as the oppressed, homeless, hungry, and the impoverished, an aunt, an uncle, hidden adversaries, self-undoing. In some cases, this could be mental illness. It could be hospitalization in some cases. Now, the thing is, given this is Aquarius energy, a lot of this could be somewhat unusual, such as some unusual limitation or restriction, or and very unorthodox, unconventional energy. It could also be done with a lot of selflessness, a lot of humanitarianism, and perhaps especially in matters that are connected with those that are less fortunate than yourself. And also, a lot of this could be done with a lot of consideration as well. And given that this is Aquarius energy, also very altruistic manner, and really in some cases, this could shine the light, so to speak, on an Aquarius hidden adversary. It could be an Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. It could also be, the way this could manifest. It could also shine the light on like an Aquarius or like unusual type mental illness. It could be one that might come very sporadically in a very erratic manner. It could be like that intermittent that intermittent anger disorder or whatever that is. I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. It's that intermittent explosive disorder or something similar that you could look at. But anyway, and a lot of that, of course, could be predicated on aspects this makes, such as if it's an adverse aspect to your natal Mercury or third house cusp, it could increase the propensity. And also, too, anyway, it could also be in some cases where you might, a lot of cases, you might be experiencing limited vitality and stamina as well. And it could be like given it's Aquarius energy, and you're talking about the Sun could be connected with the left or right eye, depending on gender. It could be a sporadic or erratic eye issue or some unusual eye problem as well. So anyway, next thing up, the Sun will be in Pisces as far as February goes, from the 18th until the 28th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this point in time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on self and self-interest, new beginnings, the outlook on life, first impression, physical body appearance, the early childhood. And given, especially if this is the actual first house in one's natal chart, the physical body and the appearance, this is something too, given that this is, you're looking at Pisces energy. Well, a lot of this can be done with a lot of idealism, a lot of compassion and altruism. And it could be especially matters if you're involved with somebody from your early childhood, or and also the idealism, perhaps especially in new beginnings. But there might be also where things might be a little bit, the energy may be somewhat nebulous and unclear, perhaps as well. Now, at the same time, you're talking about increased vitality and energy, but really more about creative energy. And really, and given it's Pisces, it could be something connected with abstract art, or doing something where you're expressing something very creative with the metaphysical, perhaps, or through poetry and dancing, and doing so with an abundance of energy as well. And anyway, and this energy too, though, might be somewhat ambivalent and really indecisive, and again somewhat confused. It's a little bit confusing given that we're talking about Pisces energy, it can be somewhat directionless. So I mean, even though you might have a little bit more vitality and energy during this time, it could be going off in different directions as well. So anyway, but and also the focus could be on some deception and duplicity, and it could be especially perhaps with people that may have been prominent in your outlook, perhaps, or a person that maybe from your early childhood, or somebody that was prominent perhaps in some new beginnings. It could be someone that might be prominent in your new beginnings currently. So it's just something to look at. So anyway, next thing up, there will be a new moon in Aquarius on February 4th. Well, there was one on February 4th, past tense. Sorry, this is up a little bit late, people. But anyway, the 12th house is what was emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, it could have been a time where, in some cases, it could have been about a new Aquarius hidden adversary. It could be Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. Perhaps a new period where you were injecting a lot of selflessness, humanitarianism, and really for those toward those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, the hungry. And it could be new. It could have been a new period where you started something innovative or ingenious in solitude and seclusion, coming up with new ideas and concepts, or doing something else Aquarius-like, such as something with astrology, computers, electronics, something with astronomy, aerospace, anything an esoteric subject. It could be in some cases where it could have been the start of a clandestine interlude or affair with an Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. And now, in some cases, I don't think, the new moon is not always about, I don't believe it's always about positive starts or auspicious. I mean, a lot of it depends on the aspects that it makes as well. And in some cases, remember that the 12th house is something is connected with mental illness. And now this wouldn't apply for most people, but it could be with some, where it could have been the start or maybe some onset of some kind of unusual or sporadic or erratic mental condition or disorder. But like I said, that could be very isolated, and a lot of that could be predicated and dependent on the aspects that makes 2 points in your chart, or if you're having other things that might reaffirm this, I should say, maybe that such as something with progressions, or you have some like a negative aspect that this is making, say to maybe say Mercury or your third house cusp, something where you could be getting something from transits or progressions that might reinforce this. So anyway, the next thing is that there will be a full moon in Virgo on February 19th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, when you have a full moon in astrology, it could often be about a time when you become very tired, full, and exasperated at something. In this case, this could be perhaps at a tired, full, or exasperated at a significant other, perhaps that might, it could be one that might be overly critical, judgmental, maybe frugal or parsimonious. It could even be somebody that may be in a business partnership that you might be getting fed up with. It's not really putting their fair share in as far as on a monetary level, or somebody that's overly exacting or precise. That's like in the seventh house person. It could be a time too where this could be, you're talking about full moons in astrology. They often can be about some kind of unveiling or revelation. It could be about the unveiling or revelation of a Virgo open adversary. It could be a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics, and also could be the completion or culmination of something 7th house related that might have been very worrisome, such as like a legal situation, or could have been going through maybe some matter with a significant other. Perhaps it could be a health issue, perhaps with somebody. Could be a grandmother in some cases, could be a significant other, marriage partner, somebody that you might be in a close business connection with. It might be some health issue that might reach a point where maybe you know, where maybe you understand it fully more at this point, or reaches a point where you make a decision what is actually going to be done. Could be another example. So, and also could be the end of some kind of Virgo type partnership. It could be something connected, something that that could be health related. It could be something like something that requires organization, or it could be a health company, or some kind of maybe like professional organizing corporation, something that requires a lot of data analytics, something that could be Virgo related, something again connected with organization, things that require a lot of data, a lot of analysis. It could be something connected with compiling data or some statistical information. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, next thing up. Well, Mercury will be in Aquarius as far as February goes from the 1st until the 10th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now at this time, this could be a time where you could be talking, communicating about the future, and things that are innovative, new ideas and concepts, perhaps with an aunt or an uncle. It could be also could be somebody that might be prominent in your private life. This is a lot of communication and solitude and seclusion, perhaps. But given we're talking about the 12th house, this could be a time where your communication, you're not really as loquacious or voluble as usual, or as you ordinarily would be. Pisces might not be there very loquacious anyway, but you might even be less talkative than usual at this time. And also, too, as I've talked about previously, that Mercury is not just about communication, it could also be about siblings as well. And it could be at a time where perhaps Aquarius siblings, or it could be Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aquarius-like characteristics, might drive you figuratively crazy at this time. Sometimes they may even contribute to secret sorrows, and a lot of this, of course, could be dependent on the aspects this makes. If this is making, say, some kind of say an adverse aspect, say to your natal Saturn, this could be causing some secret sorrows or some despondency with you. And also this could be about, I mean, looking at, remember that the 12th house is about limitations and restrictions, and in some cases this could be some kind of issue with the hands, because Mercury can be connected, associated with that. It could be some kind of unusual situation or limitation with the hands. Say if this is making an adverse aspect to your natal Uranus, this could be some kind of nerve related issue perhaps. And anyway, and also too, you might be thinking more, thinking in a very selfless manner, perhaps about, or communicating about selflessly, perhaps helping those less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and hungry. Anyway, next thing up. As far as February goes, Mercury will be in Pisces from the 10th until the 28th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might be more loquacious and talkative than usual, and very outwardly. You can be talking a lot about Pisces related subjects. It could be about your ideals, communicating about your dreams, poetry, dancing, photography, talking about imagery. It could be talking about chemistry, pharmaceutical drugs, perhaps anything that could be Pisces related, things you might fantasize about perhaps. And anyway, and another thing, another way this may manifest is that you might be thinking very idealistically at this time, and really more so even than usual. I mean, your Pisces might do that anyway, largely, but I mean, this could be seen on a first impression as well. And as I've stated before, Mercury can also be about siblings. So this could be about where Pisces siblings, it could be Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Pisces-like characteristics, might figure strongly and prominently in your outlook, and perhaps making a first impression on somebody. Say if you're going for some job interview, they might be giving you some insight as far as what to do as far as that goes. And could also be a time too where when you look at this as well, you could be really Mercury. You're talking about Mercury in Pisces and the first house, and the first house is about our could be connected with our new beginnings, and you could be talking about Pisces like new beginnings. I mean, such as doing something with dancing, poetry, photography, something with illusions, such as working as a magician. It could be doing something, working as a medium, or doing something with the metaphysical, which could include astrology or something with spirituality. Anyway, last but not least, Venus will be in Sagittarius. Was in Sagittarius as far as February goes, from the 1st until the 3rd. So at this point in time, this end part of that Venus in Sagittarius transit, and again, the 10th house being emphasized and highlighted, this could have been about perhaps Sagittarius. If you're unattached, Pisces, this could have been a time perhaps where perhaps a Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or it could be a person that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics may have figured prominently in your career, perhaps in your public image, your reputation. It could even be, too, where you might have been valuing a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm, perhaps in 10th house related matters, such as being successful, attaining a position of authority, or really also, it could have been also about spending perhaps money on something Sagittarius related to help promote yourself, or doing something spending money perhaps say on publishing or advertising as an example, to really boost maybe perhaps your notoriety, or I should say recognition, perhaps. This could also been about the enjoyment and love of Sagittarius-like things with 10th house people. It could have been about the enjoyment and love of sports, the law, the outdoors, religion, even higher education, perhaps with 10th house people, I mean, such as authority figures, if you're close with any, or the dominant parent, which is often the father, someone that may have been, may be prominent in your career. So those are some ways that this may have manifested. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Pisces February 2019 horoscope forecast, part 1 of 2. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Pisces February 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person astrologically speaking based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.